Hi, I'm Scotty. Welcome to my channel, Scotty's Clock World. Thanks for dropping by. In this video, I take the movement out of its case, sort out the problem with the chains, and oil the movement. This is a brand new Cuckoo clock that I got from an auction recently. It dances on a platform, and it also has a music box in it. The chains were still factory sealed. The clock has never worked, it's never been up on a wall. The problem with it is the chain on the time side train had come off the great wheel. And the people who made the mistake of pulling the chain in the wrong direction didn't know how to repair it, so they just put it into auction to get rid of it, and I picked it up for 180 Australian, which is the equivalent of about 85 US. This clock is brand new. It retails in Australia for $970. It's a one-day Cuckoo clock that has a regular movement inside it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to remove the movement, put the chain back on the sprocket of the great wheel on the time side, and then oil the movement because it would never have been oiled, and then put it back together again, then put it on a test stand to check it and make sure it's working properly. Alright, we'll start off with taking the hands off. I'll undo that knurl nut with a pair of pliers so we can get a grip on it. That's a wooden hand actually. Take the wooden hand off. It's got a washer on top of it. Then we take out this square section here that holds a minute hand, and then very carefully we lift up the hour hand. Alright, now we'll turn the movement over, and there you can see the chains, brand new, absolutely brand new. There's the music box. You'll notice there's no dust, no dirt, no scratches on anything because it's absolutely brand new. And it's a regular 25 movement, made in West Germany. Right, first thing we have to do is take the weight hooks off, all of which are very tight at the base of the clock case because they've come from the factory and it's never been used. So I'll take those off first, which won't be particularly easy to get at each of those. Actually, I'll do that offline. I don't want to scratch the case. I'll take one of the hooks is alright, that'll be an easy one, but the other two are flush up against the bottom of the case. I've taken the weight hooks off. Now we're going to have to take the bellows out, unfortunately. I hope we didn't have to. It's the first time I've tackled one of these platform dances and music box movements, so I'm a bit nervous about it. There's different levers running here and there and in various places, but we have to find out how to fix it, so it's got to be done. Alright, so we'll start off by taking the bellows lift wires off. Hold them with a pair of pliers down towards the base, and then lift them up. They drop out of the bellows lift lever and they come straight out. I'll take that out. That's the high note. Now we'll get in here very carefully around the hammer, and we'll take the low note out. The lift wire, the low note bellows. Back a bit. I think that should now drop out. Not particularly easy to see in there actually. I'll get a larger pair of tweezers and see if I can hold that down and lift that up. Almost, but not quite. I'll actually turn that back a little bit more, which might make it a shade easier, I hope, to remove it. Get over that star wheel there. Hold that down and pull it out. There we go. Now we'll take that out. That's the low note lift lever. They're both out. So now we can take out the bellows. And the bellows are held in with Phillips head screws. So don't lose all our chains. Remove this. On the side, comes out easily. Put it into a dish. And then very carefully ease the pipe off the wall. As we don't want to damage anything. I'll use a larger blade screwdriver. Seems to be a relatively long brad that's holding that. Thought we might have been able to push it out, but we can't. All we did was put the pipe back in again. It's virtually there, but getting very close to the dancer's platform. Push that back in. I'm thinking I might be able to leave that one there actually. I'll put the screw back into it again, tighten it down, and I'll look at just taking the other side off. I might be able to get away with leaving the high note in. Be good if I do. The least amount of taking this to pieces, the better as far as I'm concerned. Alright, we'll go for the low note. It looks like it'll be easier to remove. Take the screw out. Then screwdriver and prise it gently off the wall. Move up to a bigger blade one to give us, there we go. We've got to be very careful of that lift wire. That's a lift wire that lifts the tail of the bird. Alright, put that aside and I'll remove this brad here. Push that out. Oh, maybe not. Seems to be pretty well in there. Nope, the head is actually driven into the wood, right? No, that's going to stay there apparently. Alright, now let's see what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. I think we'll need same size screwdriver. Right, I'll take those screws out, pick them up with a pair of tweezers. That's the first one. Gee, they're tiny little screws too. This top one up here. And pick him up. Pair of tweezers. Put him aside. The next one. The fourth one's going to be fun. It's buried away very close to the music box. And that's 3. Now turn the movement round so I can see where the bit more light on the subject, I think, so I can see where this screw is. It's going to need a longer shaft on it to get down there. I don't know if that head is going to fit in or not. Alright, this is going to require some work off camera. then I'll be back. Well, that was fun. I've got the chains back on again. Now, while we've got it here, we'll oil it. The great wheel, another great wheel, and the third one. A little bit much, I'll take some of that off, that's better. We'll slowly work our way up the trains, pulling the pivots as we go. Up to the fly. And I think that's done for that side, so very carefully turn the movement over. A bit of a nervous Nelly with this one, but first time, though we'll see how it goes. I'm very pleased I don't have to take the whole thing apart. Well, I hope I don't. Great wheel. Dob of oil there. And what have we got up here? There's got to be, yep, there it is. One underneath there. The second wheel. And there. And one there. And get into the pallets on there, and that's hidden in behind there, so I'll put one there. And I'll put one on the inside of the fly there because it's very hard to get it the other side. Alright. Alright, I think they're all done. I'll put that down here for the moment. Put the oil away. Put the oiler back into the pit. Right, we've done the oiling. We're now ready to put the movement back into the case. But before I do that, I'll take off the tapes we've got here that we put on so that we didn't lose the ends of the chain. It'll be easier to do it here than once it gets into the case, that's for sure. Open that up. Take that other piece off. Now, the third one. Hopefully will come off relatively easily. Now, keeping a close eye on the chains, making sure they don't come off the great wheels. We'll let them run down through the holes in the base of the case, and then we'll start putting the movement in, being careful of the little bird, we don't snap him off, and also the dancers. The little bird's hook has to go through that hole up there so it catches on the door. And clunk, there we go. The movement is now in play. Right, so what we better do now is get the chains going through. Using a pair of tweezers, I'll catch this chain, pull it through the hole, And then the other end. Same thing again. Pair of tweezers. Get a grip on it. Put it through the hole. Now to keep all these chains in the correct orientation so I don't get them messed up, I'm going to put a piece of wire through the links once they're outside the case, and that'll keep them relatively contained. Alright, that's the time side. Now, see what else we've got in here. Pick that chain up. Get a grip on him with a pair of tweezers. And that one goes into that hole there. Pull him through, pair of tweezers. Oh, caught on the great wheel. There we go. That's the strike side. Right, put a piece of wire on that. Right, put a piece of wire on those chains, hold them together. And that's set there. Right, now the music box set, which goes down through the bottom hole down there. Pair of tweezers again, grab her. That's got him. Pull him through. Check it to make sure it's the right set. Yep, that's the one. Get the other side. And I'll put a little piece of wire on that to hold them together also. A little bit more of a twist, I think, on that. Not quite bent enough. Mind you, it's all brass coloured, so it's not easy to see what's happening down here. There's proof of that, it's just fallen out. Right, grab another one and those two chains joined up. Roll it over a bit more this time. That's got him. Alright. Now we can start looking at aligning the movement in there to put our screws in. We've got to put the on-off lever on yet, but we'll do that once we've secured the movement. Alright, we'll use a bit of Rodico on the screws and the screwdriver because they're Phillips heads and tiny little screws, and they're not going to be easy to hold to get down into where the hole is. Line that up. That's got him. Yep, that's got to start. Another one. Reset our Rodico. Put the screw on it. I'll align those two holes using a dentist probe. Put the screw in. Tie it down about a third of the way. Take the driver out. Get the next one ready. That's got him. Line the movement with the hole. Put the screw in. Oh, and fell out, so we'll try that again. Oh, that's got him. There we go, third time lucky. Excellent. Now I'll tighten those screws down. That's about right. That one's right. You can feel it when they're seated. All right, I'll have a quick check of that on the front. Yes, that's okay. I'll align the little bird's hook to the front door now. Bend him down a bit. And over tiny little bit, might make it a bit easier to get in. Bend him down. Not quite as easy as it looks on this one. Be careful of the dancers, we don't want to upset them. Okay, bend the wire down. It's got to be flat down there, it can't stick up. Not sticking up a bit, it's got to come down further yet. And I think that it looks all right. Okay, back again. Make sure the dancers are turning on their platform. Got all the wires there. Aha, there's the fourth screw that I couldn't find, which is a really hard one to put in. Where's our screwdriver? There we go. This time I've got to get the screw in between the movement there and that wheel there. On the music box, which isn't going to be very easy. So I'll put a little bit more light on it. See if I can find where that screw is supposed to go down there. And no, it's not going in. I'm going to have to wait for that to get a longer shafted number 0 Phillips head screwdriver. I can get one, I'll get one on the weekend, but it was easier to take out, but trying to put that screw back in again is not easy. So that'll have to wait until the weekend. In the meantime, we shall continue. Alright, so the movement is almost in. That's the lever for the music box. I've taken the clock down from the test stand. It's back on the bench now. I've already installed the high note lift wire, that one there. We're now going to put the low note bellows in. With the pipe, we'll line the hole up with that brad on the side. Not that it's easy to see, but there it goes. It's got that. Now we want the screw to hold it in and a Phillips head screwdriver. I'll lift that up and find where the hole is. I think that's it about there. I think I'll give that a try. Nope, not going in. Needs to be up a little bit higher, I think. Well, I would have thought that was it. Obviously it isn't. I'll get my dentist probe out and we'll have a bit of a probe round, and there we go, that's got it. Now, put the screw in now that we've aligned the hole, and we'll screw it down with a number 0 Phillips head screwdriver. And I'll show you the modification I've done to this screwdriver. a little bit later. I'll do a video on that, and you'll find out why it works far better than when you purchase it out of the shop and then go to use it. Alright, now got to put the lift lever on. Make sure that the rod for lifting the cuckoo bird is in its correct position. Yep, that looks about right. The wire down. Now we've got to get that wire into the bellows lift lever down there, which is there, and needs to come up just the tiniest amount. There we go. I'll lift that up with a pair of tweezers, make an initial bend, put a pair of pliers on, hold it so we don't twist it, hold it tightly, and then start to bend it down. Having gone part way, we can now finish the process with a pair of pliers. Grip the wire tightly and then press it down. We'll flick up, make sure it works. I think that could go down a tiny bit more, I think yet. Couple of pairs of pliers again. Hold the wire tightly so it doesn't move. We don't want to bend it, and then press down on the wire. Alright, well that's looking okay. Now I'll put the hands on, and then we'll put it on a small test stand that I've got here that I can use on my bench. That'll be sufficient, and we'll check the movement and make sure it's working properly. I don't know what time it is, but we'll discover that once we start testing it. First up, the hour hand. I'll put it on at 3 o'clock for somewhere better to put it. Then the brass piece with the square hole in it. Adjust that, let it slide down properly. Then the minute hand, and then the washer over the top of that. And then back to our knurl nut again. Put that on, and once it stops falling off, we'll put it back on again and wind it down. Being very careful because these are timber hands and I imagine they would break very, very easily. Is that on yet or not? No, I think it's cross-threaded. Yep, right. Oh, that looks alright. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about antique and vintage clock repair, be sure to hit the subscribe button or become a channel member to watch my videos ad-free. Thank you to my supporters.
Don Dressel, David Phillips, Graham F.P., Robert Hornman, Mike Messerschmidt, Stephen Watts, Sidus, Rolf, Tony Paisley, Jeff Clements, Whitney Kovner, Walt Morgan, Dennis O'Connor, Robert Baldwin, Douglas Mueller, John, Martin Olivia, Douglas Rollinson, Bill Leeds, Getzip, Brooks Rowand, Jim Scarladorn, Rodney Van Meter and Elizabeth Smith.